Amelia Warner revealed to the press, "Jamie is very good at taking care of our little family." A quiet morning in Surrey. The sun had barely broken through the fog that covered the countryside of Surrey when Amelia Warner stepped out into the garden, her cup of tea steaming in the cold air. The day was peaceful, the kind of peace that had become the foundation of her family's life far from Hollywood's flashing lights. Birds chirped softly, and the laughter of three little girls echoed faintly from inside the house. Later that morning, Amelia would sit down for an interview with The Observer. She didn't expect her words to make headlines, but what she shared would touch millions of hearts around the world. The interview that melted the internet. When asked about her marriage to Jamie Dornan, the actor most known for his complex roles, from the enigmatic Christian Grey to the tortured hero of The Tourist, Amelia smiled in a way that spoke more than words ever could. "Jamie is, how'd I say it? He's a very good man," she began, her voice calm and sincere. "People often talk about him as an actor, about his looks or his success, but very few know how deeply he cares for his little family. He's the heart of our home." The journalist, perhaps expecting a typical celebrity statement, paused, but Amelia continued with the same gentle tone, revealing glimpses of their private world. "He wakes up before everyone else. He makes breakfast, helps the girls get ready for school, and still somehow manages to write music or prepare for a role. He's not just a father, he's present. And that, to me, is everything." Behind closed doors. A different Jamie Dornan. For years, tabloids painted Jamie as the mysterious, distant type, the man who stole hearts on screen but kept his real one locked away. Amelia's words shattered that image. Friends close to the couple say that Jamie, despite his demanding career, always prioritizes home. When he's not filming, he spends hours cooking with his daughters or helping them paint in the backyard studio Amelia built during lockdown. A close friend shared anonymously, "You'll never see him at a late-night Hollywood party. He'd rather be home, doing bedtime stories. He's one of those rare men who don't just say, 'family first,' he lives it." From London dreams to Irish roots. Jamie Dornan and Amelia Warner met in 2010 at a London gathering that neither planned to attend. Amelia, a singer-songwriter with a poetic soul, had just released her debut EP. Jamie, fresh from modeling and exploring acting, was quiet but charming. They shared a laugh over their mutual awkwardness in big crowds. "It wasn't fireworks at first," Amelia later admitted. "It was more like calm recognition, like meeting someone you already knew." They married in 2013, surrounded by family and friends, in a ceremony filled with laughter and music. Not long after, their first daughter was born, and life as they knew it changed forever. Jamie once said in a rare interview, "Fatherhood changed the rhythm of everything. Suddenly, what mattered wasn't scripts or reviews. It was this tiny heartbeat that depended on you." The balance between stardom and simplicity. While Jamie's career took off internationally, from 50 Shades of Grey to Belfast, Amelia quietly built a creative world of her own. She composed soundtracks for films, wrote music at night, and focused on raising their daughters with empathy and joy. But behind that creative partnership was an unspoken promise: they would never let fame consume them. "We made a deal early on," Amelia told the press. "We'd take turns. If he was filming abroad, I'd pause my projects. When I was working on a soundtrack, he'd handle more at home. It's not always easy, but it's fair, and it's full of love." The world reacts. Within hours of Amelia's interview being published, social media erupted with admiration. Fans flooded Jamie's accounts with messages of respect. "He's not just a great actor, he's a great man," one comment read. "Amelia's words show the kind of love everyone wishes for," another said. Entertainment outlets picked up the story with headlines like, "Rolled Up Newspaper, Amelia Warner reveals the real Jamie Dornan, the man behind the fame." Sparkling Heart, Jamie Dornan, more than a star, a devoted father. It wasn't a scandal or a breakup that went viral this time, it was love. The little things that matter. At home, Jamie reportedly laughed when he saw the headlines. According to Amelia, he was more embarrassed than proud. He said, "Oh great, now everyone knows I burned the pancakes." But that's Jamie, humble to the core. The girls, too young to understand the media buzz, were just excited to see their parents smiling. That evening, as the family gathered around their dinner table, Jamie raised a toast with a mischievous grin. "To my public image as the perfect husband, may it survive my next attempt at laundry." They all burst into laughter. Glimpse of their home life. Their house, set amid rolling green fields, feels more like a retreat than a mansion. There are no flashy trophies or red carpet photos dominating the walls. Instead, children's drawings, handwritten song lyrics, and framed family photos tell their story. Amelia often finds inspiration for her music in those moments, a melody that begins as a lullaby, or a piano piece born from a quiet evening. Jamie, on the other hand, says the family's laughter is his reset button. "I've played complicated men on screen," he once said, "but the real challenge is being simple, being kind, being patient, being a dad who listens. That's the role I care about most." Through the storms. Like any couple, they've faced challenges, long separations due to filming, public scrutiny, and the never-ending rumor mill that follows every celebrity. Amelia didn't deny those difficulties in her interview. "We've had hard days. There were times I felt lonely, or when he came home completely exhausted. But we learned to talk. We learned to remind each other why we started this journey. Love isn't perfect, but it's resilient." Their story became a quiet example in an industry known for its breakups. Jamie's response. A week after Amelia's interview, Jamie appeared on a BBC talk show. When asked about his wife's comments, he smiled shyly. "She's far too kind," he said. "The truth is, I just try not to mess it up. Amelia is the real anchor. She makes everything work. I just make coffee." The audience laughed, but there was sincerity in his tone. He went on. "We've both seen what fame can do to people. It can take away your sense of self. So, we try to keep things grounded: school runs, grocery shopping, movie nights at home. That's the stuff that keeps us real." Fans around the world take notice. From Los Angeles to London, fans began calling Jamie and Amelia the couple that gives hope. Articles described them as Hollywood's quiet power duo. Even co-stars of Jamie spoke up. "He's the most down-to-earth guy the first know," said one fellow actor. "On set, he talks about his kids more than his lines. That's rare, and beautiful." The music of love. In the months following the interview, Amelia released a small album, Home Notes. Each song, she said, was inspired by the rhythm of everyday life with Jamie and their daughters. The title track opens with soft piano chords and Amelia's whisper-like voice. "He brings the morning light, even when it rains. He holds our little world, gentle as his hands." Listeners immediately drew connections between the lyrics and her real-life husband. When asked in a later podcast, Amelia simply said, "Art is just truth disguised as melody. A message beyond fame." At a time when celebrity relationships often end in chaos, Amelia and Jamie's story stood out for its simplicity. There were no extravagant confessions, no social media theatrics, just a couple choosing each other, again and again. Their relationship became less about glamour and more about gratitude. "We're just two people trying to raise kind children," Amelia said softly at the end of her interview. "If we can do that, everything else is just noise." Epilogue. The family in motion. Months later, paparazzi photos surfaced of Jamie walking hand in hand with his daughters along a beach in Ireland, Amelia walking slightly behind, smiling. The scene looked ordinary, but it spoke volumes. A man who had everything the world could offer, yet chose this: simplicity, family, peace. For fans, it was the perfect continuation of Amelia's words, living proof that love, when nurtured quietly, becomes its own masterpiece. As The Observer concluded in their feature, in a world obsessed with drama, Amelia and Jamie remind us that the most beautiful stories are not shouted, but whispered at home, between laughter, lullabies, and burnt pancakes.